Ignorance of real history. Many Americans today are profoundly ignorant on American history, and I do not feel like responding to each and every point if they have already shown they don't listen. In describing the founders of America, the subverted use phrases like systemically racist, which they have been subverted to use. Yet they have not read from the founders themselves. They may read comments of theirs, probably stolen out of context. If they were actually interested in knowing the truth, they could have searched for quotations or speeches by the founders on slavery, etc. I was formally trained in a course called Constitution. They were not. I was trained in good history curriculum. They were not. I have read the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the Federalist Papers, and many of the speeches, writings, and letters of the Founding Fathers. So they end up spewing out the propaganda of the enemy sent to subvert America. They may say the founders created a systemically racist nation, yet if they had the sincerity to research it for themselves, they might find the discussions and speeches where the founders speak against slavery and the mistreatment of the blacks. Forget public school curriculum or the latest documentary, and try reading actual sources. George Washington is quoted in the book The Writings of George Washington, being his correspondence, addresses, messages, and other papers, official and private. On page 159, he is quoted as saying, "I can only say that there is not a man living who wishes more sincerely than I do to see a plan adopted for the abolition of slavery." In Retrospections of America, 1791 to 1811, on page 91, George Washington is quoted as saying, "Not only do I pray for it, on the score of human dignity, but I can clearly foresee that nothing but the rooting out of slavery can perpetuate the existence of our nation by consolidating it in a common bond of principle." While not a founder, this other man's words may surprise you, since his statues are being torn down and his name sullied. He is quoted as saying, "So far from engaging in a war to perpetuate slavery, I am rejoiced that slavery is abolished. I believe it will be greatly for the interest of the South. So fully am I satisfied of this that I would have cheerfully lost all that I have lost by the war, and have suffered all that I have suffered to have this object attained." Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lee also said, "There are few, I believe, in this enlightened age who will not acknowledge that slavery as an institution is a moral and political evil."